Hello from the newsroom of the Blytheville Courier News. This is the second of 2016 CN debates. My name is Tom Henry and I'll be moderating this debate. This debate is for the position of Mississippi County Judge, and no one, except for CN staff, has seen the questions I will be asking during this debate. There will not be a live audience for this debate, and the order of opening statements, questions, rebuttal, and closing statements were determined immediately before the debate by a flip of a coin. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes for both opening and closing statements. For questions, each candidate gets 2 minutes to answer, and then the first candidate is given 1 minute for rebuttal. All candidates running for this race were invited. Now for the candidates. For the position of Mississippi County Judge, we have candidate number 1, Judge Randy Carney. And candidate number 2, Mr. John Allen Nelson. Welcome, candidates. Now for the opening statements. Judge Carney.
Thank you, Tom. I would like to first take this opportunity to thank Tom Henry and the Courier News for hosting this forum. I think it's a good way for the great citizens of Mississippi County to learn more about the candidates. 7 years ago, when I began running for this office and campaigning for this office, my agenda was industrial recruitment and economic development. In my tenure, with the help of the best economic developer in the state of Arkansas, Cliff Chitwood, and some of our mayors, we have created or recruited over 1,000 new jobs in Mississippi County. I have helped all of the 17 towns and cities in Mississippi County. I have helped every town with various projects. That, with the improvement of our county roads and bridges, I think it's fair to say that I have helped every citizen in Mississippi County. I would appreciate the opportunity to continue serving our citizens as your county judge. God bless Mississippi County.
Mr. Nelson.
Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight to tell you about the terrible, awful, serious problems that we have in Mississippi County today. The people in Mississippi County need to know about the extensive abuse that has taken place, and those that are involved need to be held accountable. Back in the spring of 2015, the years of mismanagement began to pile up. The legislative audit was not released that spring, and we didn't find out later the reason in that was because that the auditors had turned over evidence of criminal activity to the prosecutor. When the prosecutor received that evidence, he called in the state police for an investigation, and as that investigation unfolded, they found out that county tax money had crossed the state line and the FBI was called in, and that investigation continues to go on today. What the county judge lacks is honesty. We've seen bogus contracts, purchases for goods and services that were made far and above the market rate, theft at the landfill, and there will be more allegations of criminal activity in the weeks ahead. The facts are that Mississippi County's character is at stake right now. If we show ourselves to be corrupt and negligent, it will make us difficult to have help from the state legislator. It'll be difficult to recruit industry here, and it'll be difficult to bring men that work here to bring their families, because no one wants to live in a county that is corrupt and negligent. This is why I am here today asking for your vote to elect me as county judge.
Thank you. Well, according to our prosecuting attorney, there was an investigation. However, have been no indictments, no arrest, and I am told by the prosecuting attorney that no wrongdoings was ever discovered. They thoroughly investigated Hollister Industrial. They investigated Mississippi County, and everything that Mississippi County has been charged for, all the services and equipment. There was a check and balance system, and no wrongdoing was found. And according to our prosecuting attorney, that investigation has been over for some time.
And now for the questions. The first question will go to Judge Carney because you won the toss. Being the chief executive of the county government is no small task. Not only is the budget large, task important, and territory vast, it's just plain overwhelming at times. Having said that, what makes you more qualified or better suited for the position than your opponent?
Thank you, Tom. Well, first of all, 6 years experience and a great working relationship with our finance committee, chaired by Justice Michael White. We do have almost a $24 million a year budget, and we've stayed within that budget every year. Now, some years we have to tighten our belts a little more than others, but it's just like the hospital system. When I first stepped into this office, we were at risk of losing both hospitals. In fact, one of my first chores as county judge was to talk to many people who were interested in buying the hospital, new management companies, and all that. John Logan, the president and chairman of the board of directors, urged me to stay with QHR. Well, I did it. I'm glad we did. We've turned the hospital system around with John Logan, Mike Huffman, and all the other board members. And now not only are they in good shape financially, they have in excess of $6 million in the bank. So experience and the ability to work with other people, and I think makes me well more qualified than my opponent.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Yes, and to address that last issue, that investigation is ongoing. The FBI and the state police was here last week, and they were here the week before that. And my understanding is that they'll continue to be here. They've interviewed quorum court members, they've interviewed employees at the landfill, they've interviewed employees at the courthouse, and this is long from being over. But yes, you're right, the budget process is very difficult. That $25 million is spread out over 630 accounts, and it takes weeks for the quorum court to go through all of those accounts and budget that money in order to make us and to have us in the black by the end of the next year. So it is very difficult, and experience does count. I was on the quorum court for 16 years. Much of that time I was chairman of the finance committee. I made the budgets, I handled the money, and I am very capable of being county judge.
Judge Carney, 1 minute for rebuttal.
Well, again, there's a lot of difference in sitting in the county judge's seat and there is sitting on a finance committee or sitting in the JP seat. I have 6 years experience. We are in good, sound financial condition, and he mentioned, again, the landfill issue. I'm very proud of what's going on out there. We've made a lot of landfill improvements, including a new cell construction that cost in excess of $1 million.
Okay, the second question will go to you, Mr. Nelson. What are the biggest obstacles facing the Mississippi County government at this time? And what do you plan to do if elected that will fix the problems and is different from your opponent's plan?
Well, there's a number of issues. I'm not sure which one to choose to be the most important. The courthouse issue is certainly going to be a hotbed issue for the coming year. Issue 3 that's going to be on the ballot is going to be an important issue. The landfill, of course, and the jail fees. I'll say that that the courthouse may be the most contentious issue. We've had a long road on that, and it will continue. The problems that we have occurred in that was that the county judge left the south end of the county out on any discussions involved in that courthouse, and that is the biggest problem. Anytime that you divide one group against the other, whether it's north or south or black or white or across one side of the lake or the other, or those that have or those that have less, you build a wall and you cause a scar that takes a long time to heal. And we will not be a prosperous county unless we are united. And we cannot keep those scars, we cannot keep making those scars and building those walls. We've got to involve everyone.
Thank you, Tom. Well, I don't think that we have any more problems than any other county in the state. I think we've made a lot of progress in the area of becoming united and unity than anybody ever has. I go a lot of places, and many, many times I hear that I'm the best county judge in the history of Mississippi County because I have brought people together. We're not where we want to be, but we're headed in the right direction. I think one thing we must do is to continue the industrial recruitment and economic development. We're well on our way there. Big River Steel is about to hire more people. Again, we've already brought over 1,000, almost 1,100 new jobs that we've created. And we just got to keep doing that. Big River Steel could put every man and woman that doesn't have a job to work. What I am proud of is the residency requirement we have now begun in our incentive package for industry. So, we're headed in the right direction. We have a great sheriff and great sheriff's department that they have lowered the crime rate. There's a lot of good, positive things that going on in Mississippi County, and we appreciate your continued support.
Mr. Nelson, 1 minute rebuttal.
Yes, we do have a lot of great things going on in Mississippi County, and I'm proud to live here. I was born and raised here. With the construction of Big River Steel, that makes us 3 steel mills here in our county. I believe it's just a matter of time before we'll have a metal stamping plant here. We've got a lot of things right on the verge of busting loose and making this a great very strong economic place to be. And I'm proud to be here. And in spite of all of the bad things that we've got going on, we've got a lot of really good things that are right here in front of us, just about to happen.
With approximately 1,000 workers having been laid off within the last 18 months or so in Mississippi County, what specific plans, if any, do you have to bring more high-paying jobs to Mississippi County? And what specific plans, if any, do you have to keep the ones that are already here? Judge Carney.
Good question. Thank you, Tom. That's what makes our economic development tax so important. Old jobs do fade away. They do go away. However, Tenaris has started the rehiring process, so they are on the rebound, as well as IBSCO is coming back as well. Our economic development tax is the smartest tax that the citizens of Mississippi County has ever passed, and it works. We spent since its inception, spent over $40 million. That tax has repaid the county 34 times our investment through payroll taxes. So industrial recruitment is going to be a strong thing. We have 4 active projects working right now to bring more industries to Mississippi County, and there are 4 industries that are looking real hard at Mississippi County right now. So we're proud to be part of that, and look forward to seeing those come to fruition.
Yes, we do have problems in our layoffs, especially those that surround the steel mills. But steel, just like commodities, is a cyclical market. We've got to expect those things that'll happen. The prices will come back up, and the employees will be brought back in, and we'll be stronger than ever when we do cycle. Our economic development tax is very important to us, and it has been a big winner. We have spent about $46 million over the we collected that in taxes over the last 13 years. About $40 million of that went to purchase land and buildings and infrastructure. $6 million went for study and cost. But that $46 million has produced $1.56 billion in payroll, and that's a huge amount of money to put into the county. If you take that and our share, if you look at Osceola or Blytheville, the money spent there, that's 3.5% of that $1.56 billion, and it goes a long way to making our county a very prosperous place to live.
Judge Carney, 1 minute rebuttal.
Well, again, the economic development tax is the key thing. Again, old jobs will go away, and that's what makes our industrial tax so important, because it does create, it puts us in a competitive arena to compete for these new jobs and new industries. And again, with the four industries we're working with right now, I like where we're headed. I think we're doing the right things and doing them the right way.
On Friday, September 23rd, the CN posted online an admittedly non-scientific poll of its readers asking the question, do you believe that corruption is a significant problem in our local city, county governments? Regrettably, 87.9% said definitely or maybe, while only 12.1% either doubted or denied it. Therefore, in light of the controversies ranging from landfill issues, including Hollister, to the use of county equipment for personal use, does our county government have a significant corruption issue? If so, how many departments or elected officials are affected, and what are you going to do about it if elected this November? Mr. Nelson.
Yes, I'm certain that corruption is an issue here in county government. We could sit here the rest of this night and I could talk about corruption in county government. That's exactly why the state police and the FBI are investing our county right now. And let me add that that we've only had one state police investigation in Mississippi County in my lifetime, and that resulted in a person being charged and convicted with embezzlement. So it's very serious. State police doesn't come in here and just investigate criminal activity just because they think something might be wrong. This is an extreme problem that we have right now, and it is going to be seen through. Not only do we have the Hollister incident, but we have other instances going on right now. Our former landfill director was fired because he admitted in open court that he was participated in a theft ring, and it involved a lot of people, and those other people are still here. So yes, corruption is rampant in Mississippi County government, and it will be put to an end, and that's why I'm here tonight running for Mississippi County Judge.
Well, I'd certainly, of course, disagree. I don't know how John Allen Nelson knows more about what the state police and FBI are doing than our prosecuting attorney. But he mentioned the former landfill director. I'll remind you that I'm the one that fired him. So, no, I don't think that crime and theft is a major issue in Mississippi County government at all. And certainly, the one positive thing that my candidate, as you can see, is very negative. That my opponent has said is the 7 other elected officials. He has confidence in them. He trusts them, from the sheriff all the way to the coroner's office. He trusts them, and he thinks they're wise. Thinks they make good decisions. He may be surprised to know that every single one of those people have endorsed me. They've endorsed me because they see my work ethic, they see my honesty, they see what I do every day. So I'm proud of the fact that the sheriff and every other elected official in Mississippi County has endorsed Randy Carney and supports the re-election of Randy Carney as their county judge.
Nathan Taylor was indeed fired by our county judge for running a theft ring. That was never turned over to be investigated. And the reason it wasn't is because the county judge was implicated in the same theft ring. And you can find that in the grievance hearing of the Byrd transcript. We have a serious problem with corruption in Mississippi County. It has a long history, and it's not near over.
Fully aware that retired Circuit Judge David Laser issued an injunction on July 26th to stop a special election that would have raised funds for a new courthouse in Blytheville, and the divisive rancor between the competing sections of the county, it's important to know precisely where the county's chief executive officer stands on the courthouse issue. So my question to the two of you is, leaving no ambiguity in your answer. If you are elected to the position of county judge in November, will you be fighting with all your ability to preserve two functioning county courthouses or to consolidate into just one new one, and why? This question goes to Judge Carney.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that question. I'm glad that my opponent's finally going to be forced to answer the question straight up. So I'm interested to hear his remarks. I've stood firm on my response to that question many times. I've not changed. First of all, I am in favor of building a new courthouse in Blytheville, Arkansas. The building we have now is over 100 years old. We need a new courthouse in Blytheville, Arkansas. Our county government has already purchased land to an ideal location for it, and at the same time, of course, it makes a lot of sense. And at the same time, there's members of our quorum court that think that it's not wise and it's not prudent to operate two courthouses. And from a fiscal standpoint, that might be right. I mean, sometimes our finance committee just looks at the bottom line. Well, sometimes you have to look at the top line. And the top line is it's not right to take the Osceola courthouse away from the south part of the county. The right thing to do is to leave it open, leave it operational, leave it operational as a functioning and well-manned courthouse as it is today. So I support, yes, building a new courthouse because we need a new facility in Blytheville, and also to retain the courthouse that we have in Osceola.
The problem with this issue began with the county judge leaving the south end of the county out of any voice in the new courthouse being built. That's one of the biggest things I'm against, and it's those scars and it's those walls that has divided the county is going to hinder our county's success. We need everyone involved in such an important matter. The other issue that I have is that there was no plan put in place on what would happen to the existing courthouses. And if we cannot afford to run two courthouses and we need one, to build a new courthouse would mean that we would have three courthouses. So I believe that more time should have been spent in how and what we were going to do with the two original courthouses. I am a preservationist, among other things, and I think it's important that we keep those two buildings and we find the funding and the sources needed to keep those buildings standing. They are both over 100 years old. That is our heritage, and those types of things is what makes our community strong. So we need to find a way to keep them up if it is clear that we cannot continue to offer our services in a responsible way with the two courthouses we have today. And it is true that 100 years ago they were built and neither one of them is insulated. The wiring is not compatible with today's needs in 2016. So I do know that the time is coming soon that we will have to have a new courthouse. But let's take the time and involve everyone and have a clear plan before we do that.
Thank you, Tom. Well, John touched on something that he's right and I know he's heard it from the proponents of our courthouses. 100 years ago, those buildings were not built to handle the new technology that we have available to us today. The computers, software systems, everything that we have today just wasn't available 100 years ago. And it's time that we update them. And again, the courthouse in Osceola is not in distress to the point that the Blytheville courthouse is, and that's why I think we need to build a new one in Blytheville and let the one in Osceola remain the same. And we do maintain both, and we will continue to maintain the courthouse in Osceola. And with the new courthouse in Blytheville, it'll be a very low maintenance thing.
True leaders dream about what is possible, but they also are realists about present conditions. They also cast a vision to those around them that causes things to change one way or the other. That requires the ability to communicate their vision. What is your vision for Mississippi County, and how will you communicate that vision to stakeholders throughout the county? Mr. Nelson.
When I was growing up, let's just look back maybe, let's look back 50 years ago. Jonesboro and Blytheville was basically the same size, same population, had about the same infrastructure, and over the period of time since then to now, Jonesboro has exploded. And I believe that the main reason that they have is because of their leadership. The good leadership and the good decisions making is what leads a county or an area into prosperity. And that's what I want to do here. We're right on the verge of making huge changes in our economic climate right here in Mississippi County. And if we make the right decisions that go along with those changes, we will explode here to the point that the prosperity will be where people come here to live and bring their families, and this will be a different place. And I believe those changes will take place in just the next few short years, and I'm looking very forward to being a part of it.
Yes, just a moment of rebuttal there. But again, my opponent's flip-flopping. He's saying it both ways. We do have a lot of things we are on the verge of making huge impacts and great positive steps toward industrial development, industrial recruitment, and you're welcome. Glad to be a part of that. We've had two governors, our former Governor Beebe and Governor Hutchinson, who very much have supported our campaigns and have supported our jobs and have supported our efforts in the recruitment and of industrial recruitment and economic development. And Governor Hutchinson continues to work with us today on recruitment of new industry. I've hired the right people for the right jobs and put them in the right places. I've hired the best people. I don't know who he thinks he knows, but you can't do better than Terry Brassfield and Cindy George in the judge's office. You can't do better than Tony Stone at the road department. You can't do better than Will Allen at the landfill. I've hired the right people, and the reason I do that is it's not a quick decision on who I hire. I take time and I pray about it, and I pray for Mississippi County every single day of my life. Now, everything we do is supposed to bring glory to God, and I try to live that way. I pray hard every day. The Bible says that we are to pray without ceasing. I pray every day almost without ceasing. I brought prayer and the pledge back to our quorum court meetings because I think it's that important.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson, 1 minute rebuttal.
Yes, I think we can make a lot better choices in our hiring in Mississippi County. I think that's one of the problems that we face today, and that's where a lot of our corruption is rooted. We're going to have to turn this thing around, and if we don't, then we're going to find ourselves in an awful position, and the rest of the state will be looking at us, and I'm very concerned about it, and that's why I'm here tonight asking you to vote for me as county judge, and I'll restore the honesty in Mississippi County where it needs to be.
Now for our closing statements, and again, since you won the toss, Judge Carney, you go first.
Tom, and again, thank you and Tom Henry and the Courier News for sponsoring this forum. I've enjoyed being here this evening. I will say I'm very proud of my record. I'm proud of the industrial recruitment and economic development measures that we've had in place and are in place now. I'm proud of the 4 industries that are looking at us right now to locate here and invest in Mississippi County. I'm proud of our employees. I'm proud of all the other 7 elected officials again that have publicly endorsed me and because of my honesty and because of my record, my work ethic. And I got to say this: I just happened to run into a lawyer the other day downtown, and the possibility of me suing my opponent for slander, he brought it up. He said, "When are you going to do that?" And I said, "Well, we have taken the high road. We'll continue to take the high road. It's too bad that my opponent, has taken the low road and has been so given so much misleading information and half truths and downright lies. Anybody else would have already sued him. And if you put yourself in a position to get sued personally, imagine what's going to happen if the county judge was like that. And imagine what kind of position he'd put the county in, a great legal jeopardy. And again, I'm proud of what we've done and the way we've done it. And I covet your prayers, and I look forward to continuing to serve as your county judge.
Not only is the massive amount of corruption in Mississippi County a very important issue that we've got to get past, we've also got some other problems. We've got the county suing the city of Blytheville. We have the city of Osceola suing the county. We have conflict on either side of the lake. We've got to take that division and bring all of us together, because a divided house will not stand and we will not prosper until we get all together and we get pulling in the same direction. And that is why I'm here today. I want to help pull Mississippi County in one direction, and that's the successful one.
Once again, we at the Blytheville Courier News would like to thank you for watching. We'd like to thank both candidates for participating in our debate tonight. Don't forget to tune in and watch the other CN debates as well. You'll find them on our Facebook page, and soon we'll be putting them up on our website, www.blythevillecourier.com. The other debates scheduled are the Ward 1, Position 1 Blytheville City Council debate will be tomorrow. It will probably be posted about 6:30 p.m. or so, and then an hour later, we will be posting the Ward 2, Position 1 Blytheville City Council debate. And lastly, the State Senate District 22 debate will be held Monday the 24th, and it'll be posted about 6:30 p.m. So once again, thank you, and have a great day.